What the hell did I just watch? God. This movie. Okay, well, obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to start with no spoilers. I'll go into spoilers later, and I'll give a spoiler alert before we do that. So, Brahmastra. This is a movie inspired by Hindu mythology, though a lot of people would disagree based on the comments I've seen. It's a movie where characters attain astras, which means weapon in Indian, and these astras give them powers of the gods. And this movie almost works, but in some ways it really doesn't. See, so this is a Bollywood film, and if you saw my trailer reaction, you know I was very excited for this movie. I went into this movie expecting it to be absolutely insane and over the top and also corny, and the movie has all of that. It has insanity, it has over the top, it's corny, it's way, way too corny. There's too much of the love story in it, and that's what everyone was afraid it was gonna be. And I'm sorry to tell you, that is what happens here. And it's so weirdly done, because the love story, the girl our main character falls in love with, he literally just sees her at an event and falls in love with her. That's it. There's not some pre-established relationship. They don't meet and bond over something, and he just literally sees her and he's obsessed with her. It's like an episode of You, that show on Netflix. I could totally see Joe Goldberg doing this. On the upside, though, very likable main character. Honestly, I really liked him. And a very likable love interest. I really liked her, too. They do have some charming moments together. It's nice. It's just the way they fall in love is a little too ridiculous. And literally there's a scene, it's I loved you from the moment I saw you. It's that's not how it works, my friend. And, it ties into the plot in good ways, but it interferes with the plot in bad ways. There is literally a scene, I swear to God, there is literally a scene where the main character and his love interest, they realize part of the villain's plan. They're oh my god, the villains are going to go after this man, and they're probably going to kill him. This man's life is in danger. We have to go save this man. All right, let's go. We're going to go save this man. And in the literal next scene, immediately after they say that, they start singing a love song. It's ridiculous. I looked over at Wilda, I was man's life in danger, or we could sing, about how wonderful you are and how much I love you. They get to the area, and instead of going right in and mourning the guy, they start dancing around in the town and talking about how they love each other and going to a religious service. I'm sorry, I don't know all the practices in India, but it's so, what are you doing? So yeah, there's a lot of the corny love stuff in this movie. I was expecting some. I wasn't expecting it quite to this level. I needed more insanity, to be honest. And there is some insanity. The movie opens, the opening's great, by the way. Movie opens great, we get a good action scene, it's fun, it incorporates one of the astras and one of the gods' powers. It's really fun to watch, and I was really into it, and Wilda was really into it. We were all right, if movie keeps up like this, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And then it immediately cuts to our main character doing a big musical number, and it's an insane musical number, and it's so catchy, and it feels like a complete tonal shift, and we're in a different movie, but I was still on board, because I was because it's still fun, it's still crazy fun, it's got nothing to do with what we just saw, but I wanted the movie to be insane. I was alright, we're being insane, and our main character is apparently a DJ, and he literally, when the musical number starts, it's bright daytime, and as it goes on, it becomes nighttime, so I guess he's been dancing for 8 hours straight. And then suddenly he's DJing this huge, gigantic event where he has built a giant statue of Rama, which shoots a gigantic arrow into a gigantic statue of Ravana that he has built or had commissioned, and explodes the gigantic statue of Ravana during a live concert with actual fire and explosives and gunpowder, as DJs do. Don't even know what to say about that. I got the reference to the myth, Rama shooting Ravana, but I was like, is this a thing in India? Do they do that? Is this like your Burning Man? So silly. But I liked that. I liked that kind of crazy shit. And then it goes right into the love story. I'm like, okay, now we're doing the love story, but the love story part just goes on and on and on. And when we finally got back to the actual plot, I was literally saying, okay, finally, we're back to the plot. Because it was just too much. It was too much of a sidetrack. And I'm not even against there being a love story. That's normal for movies. It's normal for action movies. It's normal for superhero movies. But they focused on it a little too hard, and I'm not going to give away the ending, but the ending leans so far into the corn that you could plant a whole field, honestly. It's so corny. It's so extremely corny. And honestly, though I really liked all the action scenes. I liked, you know this from the trailer. There's scenes where they use the power of Hanuman, or maybe it's just a monkey in general. It's the Brahmastra, which means power of the monkey. And there's scenes where they use the power of the bull, Nandi. And that's really cool too, and I really like seeing that. And then there's scenes with different characters using different powers. You know this from the trailer. I'm not giving anything away. And I really like those scenes, and those scenes are a lot of fun, but there's not enough of it for me personally. The trailer made it look like that was going to be 80% of the movie, and it's not. It's more like 30%, I would say. Because they do spend so much time talking about the love story, and I just I was a little tired of it. And this is not a short film. This is a 2-hour and 40-minute film. And I could easily think of ways to cut the runtime down, because the runtime, when a movie runs this long, if you're not constantly entertaining the audience, it's gonna hurt like their viewing experience. Like Lord of the Rings movies, like the extended cuts of those are 4 hours long. I'm never bored watching those. But I did get like a little bored at parts watching this. I don't know if it was affected a little by the fact that I had to read the film, which I don't have a big problem with. And also, let me give you another example of a corny movie which I had to read, which had a 3-hour runtime that I loved. 3 Idiots. 3 Idiots is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is an Indian Bollywood 3-hour-long corny movie. However, what's interesting about that movie is it knows what to focus on. There's a love story in that too, but they don't ever let it, like, interfere with the main plot. The love story in that feels secondary. Here, the love story in a superhero movie felt primary, and I don't think that was the way to go. Like, 3 Idiots knows to focus on the relationship between the 3 friends, and this movie really needed to focus more on the mythical stuff. I would have really liked to see, like more, it really go more into the mythology, or hell, go more into the villain. Like, I feel like the villain, like they talked about for 5 minutes, and the love story, I feel like they talked about for a solid hour total, at least. Maybe they didn't, but that's what it felt like. Yeah, but, the movie has those fun moments. Overall, I was glad I saw it. I do want to see a sequel, but it's hard to say. I don't think a lot of people liked this movie, and I do have my problems with it. But I still had fun. Like, what I think could happen, potentially, is, from what I've heard, the creator of this franchise is very passionate about it. So, maybe he'll learn. And maybe now that you've, like, so established the love story, you can stop focusing so hard on it. And maybe you can focus more on the stuff we really want to see. Because I think people said there's going to be 3 parts total. If they get made, we'll see. I don't know how well this movie did, but it is cool that it came to theaters in America and I was able to actually go to the theater and watch it. I appreciate that. And I'm glad I saw this on the big screen. I am. Because there are scenes that, like, are so much more fun on the big screen. This movie has such good scenes in it, but it's really hampered by those problems. And that's what bums me out, because I want to see more of those awesome scenes. I want to see more of that awesome action. And I like these characters. I do. I just, I'm a little worried because I know this movie's getting a lot of hate. It's so weird. This movie started with, like, a disclaimer that, by the way, just so you know, this is a fictional property. It's not meant to portray an actual person. And I'm like, well, duh. Like, did someone not know that? I don't know, like, maybe you guys can tell me what's going on with that. Because I saw when I did the trailer reaction, some people were like, we need to boycott Brahmastra, and I asked why, and I never got a response. Because I don't fully know what's going on with the controversies. I think some people think maybe it's making a mockery of Hindu gods, because there are some people who think that way. Like, anytime I make a Hindu video, they think I'm mocking their gods, so maybe it's that kind of thing. Or maybe people are just mad because, like, it didn't properly represent the Hindu faith. I'm not entirely sure. But I'd really like to know. I'd really like to know what the issue is. So yeah, if I had to give this movie a rating, it's really hard to pick a rating, because there are times where it falls to a 4 out of 10, but then there are times where it's like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 fun. So if like I average that stuff, but there's more of that 4 out of 10 stuff. Or maybe more like 5 out of 10. I think I'm being a little too mean to it. Because it's like, if this... No, I can't even say that, because I can't even say it fully works as a love story, because, again, the guy literally just looked at her and fell in love with her. So, yeah, it's hard. I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10, because there is enough really cool stuff. And this movie's so unique, is another thing. I can't really call this movie just average, because this is a very unique movie. It's creative, it takes risks, and I respect that about it. I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. We'll call it above average, but it's definitely not for everybody. It's very long. Don't watch it alone. If you're interested in watching it, watch it with friends and, take bathroom breaks. I had to take a bathroom break during the film. I had to, because it's a very long movie. But, at least, check out the opening with friends. I think you'll have a ball. Like, if I were watching this at home, I would have gotten up and started dancing during a couple of parts. But, yeah, that's my overall thoughts on the film. If you saw the film, what did you think of it? Or what do you think they can do to improve in a sequel? And if you know about it, what's the controversies going on about it? Because I'm really curious what's going on there. And, I want to know. So, yeah, I think, is there anything I didn't cover? I talked about the leads, talked about the action, talked about the corniness, talked about the insanity. I think that's about all I can say without giving major spoilers. There is something really dark that happens in the movie, and something really dumb that happens in the movie, which I will talk about in spoilers. Alright, we're gonna go into spoilers now. Spoiler in 3, 2, 1, spoilers. They killed a goddamn kid in this movie! Like, whoa! Did not expect that! Like, Wild and I were like, what? So... Like, during a part, basically the plot is, like I said, they have the Astras, and our main character is trying to, keep safe the pieces of Brahmastra, which is the most powerful of these Astras, and so he goes to where one of the pieces is being kept, and that area is basically the X-Men mansion. Like, all these kids have their different X-Men powers. And during the big finale battle, one of the kids, uses his powers to help and, save everybody. And then he literally gets stabbed in the back by one of the villains and dies. And I was like, whoa, like shit just got real. And yeah, so in a way I can actually respect the movie for like not holding back on stuff like that. I was just like, damn, bro, that's rough. That's really rough. One dumb thing that happens in the movie is they get very easily caught by the villains at one point. Like, this is literally a mansion full of X-Men kids and X-Men adults and yada yada, you know, with all their different superpowers and shit. And at one point, they're like, okay, the villains know where we are. What are we going to do? And suddenly the villains just materialize in the base, in the area, pointing their guns at them. It's like, wait, how did that happen? You guys don't have any security? You guys don't have a lookout? You guys don't... Like, how did they get within 3 feet of you without you noticing them? This is so stupid. And then when they get captured, the villains don't kill any of them. They just... They put these, like, restraints on them and lock them in the house. But they don't put restraints on our main character. They don't put a guard on our main character. They just leave him alone in a room. And he's able to get up and walk over to, like, the mentor character, who also has no one guarding him. And they talk. They just say out loud what their plan is, what they're going to do. And I guess none of the guards, like, standing around hear it or even go, hey, those guys are talking. Maybe we should go over and, you know, do some. No, everyone's an idiot. It's so stupid. Oh, God. The power of the monkey is a lot of fun, though. I like the monkey noises that happen when it's used. I like that there's, like, a tail left behind on the anklet to indicate, like, monkey. And I like the power of the bull. That was a lot of fun to see. All the powers are really fun. I do actually like that the main character's firepower comes out because of his feelings for the girl. I like that, like, the first time he used it by accident as a way to protect her. And that's actually, like, I can believe that. Like, if you've ever, like, really been in love with someone and cared about them more than you care about yourself, I like, if you know how that feels, like, I can see how that would work. But like I said, if the love story wasn't handled super well, so it kind of hurts that even a little bit. If the love story was handled better, and it's so weird because we need like both more of it and less of it, because it's hard to believe the love story given how badly it started, like of just, I look at you and I love you. So it's like, we need more development there, but we also need less development because they focus too much on the love story after that. And I don't know. I feel like there was a better way to handle this. Look, I'm not going to pretend I know the perfect solution. I don't have one off the top of my head. But, you know, you got to come up with something better. I don't know. I really don't know. Apparently the big overarching villain is the main character's father. Okay, Darth Vader. I didn't have a problem with that. I actually kind of called it when they started talking about, like, the overarching villain and who defeated him. I'm like, and they were in love and they had a baby. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's not a big problem or anything. Like, I think that's fine. It's weird that the main character is named Shiva, honestly. And of course the female character's like, do you know what my name Isha also means? It also means Parvati, Shiva's wife. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so corny. Also, at the very end, literally love is what saves the entire Earth. Like, the main character loves the girl so much that his love literally stops Brahmastra from destroying the Earth and contains Brahmastra. It's literally taking the big thing that was interfering too much with the movie and making it the Deus Ex Machina that saves the entire world. I can definitely see why people don't like that. What I did like, though, just for a moment in that, was the way his love was symbolized as protecting her was fire came out in several arms, because that was fun. Like, that's fun Hindu, like, mythical imagery. That was cool to see. I had actually forgotten about that, like, while I was watching the film, because I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about the weapons, and then to see all the arms going, I'm like, hey, you know, as a big Hindu myth nerd, I was like, hey, yeah, I see what you did. That was fun for me a little. But, yeah, Yeah, that's about all I think I want to... Oh, I didn't mention, though, the music in this movie is actually really great. I actually love the music. Even though some of the song numbers probably should have been cut out for time or because they're put in the wrong place, I still loved the music. I love that number that he does, like in his DJ job. I love the, I don't know what the song's called, but it's the one where he keeps going, Deva, Deva, Deva. That's a really nice song. I like that. And especially, Wild and I both loved the, like, epic background music in this movie. The background music in this makes you feel like, yeah, here we go. So yeah, whoever wrote the music for this movie, like the musicians and everything, extremely talented people. Good for them. It's just, it wasn't always handled perfectly. Really should have cut out that stupid love song when they're going to save the guy's life. That really needed to be cut out. And there's some other stuff that should have been cut out too. But still fantastic music. Like, a couple musical numbers I legit loved, and the background music is fantastic. So damn good. Works so well with the action and works so well to build up the intensity of the plot. The problem is they build it up so well, and then suddenly we're talking about a completely different thing in a completely different area in a completely different way. And we're like, wait, go back to the cool shit. Go back to it. What are you doing? So yeah, that's where the movie kind of stumbles and doesn't fully work. But yeah, I think that's about all my thoughts on it. Well, but overall, had fun. Glad I watched it. Wilda had fun too. But yeah, we pretty much agreed on the problems we had with it. Unfortunately, I really wanted Wilda to be in this video, but unfortunately she's working really hard, so hope she's doing okay. I'm the Mythology Guy, and I do not know how to end videos. Bye-bye.